right, the clerk can go ahead and call the court to order.
The Court of Appeals for the 8th District of Texas is now in session.
Good morning and welcome everyone. This is one of the more enjoyable duties that we have as justices on the court, and that's to swear in new lawyers, which is what we're here today to do. I am Chief Justice Jeff Alley. Also joining us is Chief Justice-elect Yvonne Rodriguez. And we have 4 candidates today who are here to be sworn in. And this will essentially be the order of proceeding. I want to introduce each of them. And when I introduce you, I'd ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe where you went to law school. If you're presently working or employed somewhere, let us know where that is. Or if you're looking for a position, go ahead and tell us what area of law you'd like to practice in. And then after those brief introductions, then there'll be some short presentations by the different bar associations, and they'll tell you a little bit about themselves. Then there will be some comments by myself and Justice Rodriguez, and then we'll get to what you're really here today to do, which is to become lawyers. So with that, our first candidate is Tomas Eduardo Porras Acosta. Do you go by Mr. Porras?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Then go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, good morning, Judge Ali. Good morning, Judge Rodriguez. And thank you for everybody for being here and making this special for us. Yeah, of course, my name is Tomas Porras Acosta. I recently graduated from the Michigan State University College of Law. I was graduated from a program called Trial Practice Institute, TPI, and now I'll be working at Scott Holmes starting in January.
Awesome. Our next candidate is Desiree Michelle Duarte. You could unmute yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Good morning. My name is Desiree Duarte. I went to UT Law, and I'm excited to be back home. I'm going to be working with Scott Holmes as well, with Mr. Porras. And like I said, I'm excited to be back and to be an attorney finally.
Awesome. Next, we have Alessandra Erica Martinez.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alessandra Martinez. I was born and raised here in El Paso. I'm a graduate of UTEP, and I went to law school at the University of New Mexico, and I'm currently an associate at Kemp Smith. Thank you for doing this for us.
Again, it is a real pleasure. One of the enjoyable things we get to do. And then the last candidate is Sarah Miles. Is it Yakel?
Traditionally, yes. We say Jakely now, but
okay.
Yeah, that is the correct pronunciation. So hi, my name is Sarah Jakely. I'm originally from Austin, Texas, but my family moved out to Las Cruces, so I followed them out here to El Paso. I went to undergrad at UT and law school at Texas Tech School of Law, and I'm also currently working at Kemp Smith in the trial department.
Awesome. Okay, well, we have representatives here from the various bar associations, and we're honored to actually have the president of the state bar, who I'll let go first, Larry McDougall. Larry, if you want to unmute yourself and tell us about the state bar.
Thank you, Your Honor. First of all, I want to congratulate each one of you and welcome you into becoming a member of our State Bar of Texas. I believe you'll find that we probably have one of the greatest bars of any of the 50 states. We work hard, we put a lot of time in, and we have Sylvia Firth, who's from El Paso also. And on behalf of us, we both want to congratulate you for this. But when you do become a lawyer and you get that sworn in today, I want you to look at bar service. We have a lot of opportunities for you to give back to the community and to fellow lawyers through bar service. Starting out, we have Leadership SBOT. These don't cost you a thing. These are things that we provide, and a Leadership SBOT lets you go back in the community and talk about your experiences of becoming a lawyer. We have Texas Young Lawyers Association, TYLA. That's the service arm of the state bar. that does enormous service projects and things for the bar. We have all kind of benefits that you can get into. We have the TOJI program if some of you decide to go out on your own, where we will actually help you put your law firm together, give you the assets. We have all those things for you at the State Bar. And if you have any questions or any problems, I just want you to know the State Bar of Texas is here for you. All you have to do is pick the phone up and call us. We can put you in touch with the right people and get you the help, the access, anything that you may need. And when I was asked to speak here today, I got to thinking, one question young lawyers always ask me, and I'm just going to throw this out there, is what piece of advice can you give us as young lawyers? When I was a young lawyer, I had a lady lawyer who sat me down and one day and said, hey, let me give you the best piece of advice I've ever got. There's no client that's worth your law license. Clients will ask you to do things that may put your license in jeopardy and violate the rules. But understand, if those clients find themselves in a box, they will push you under that train so fast you won't see it coming. And that's the one thing that I have to say. My law license has been really good to me. It's created a good life for me, my family, but that law license is what's allowed me to do it. You have to protect that law license and protect yourself. And that is the one piece of advice that I can give you. And I can tell you as a 30-year lawyer, clients have come to me and asked me to do things that I knew were wrong. And luckily, I've always had the fortitude to say no. And that's the one big piece of advice that I can give you. With that, I'll just end by saying, and I believe Sylvia will join me in this, I've enjoyed being a lawyer. I've enjoyed my service to the bar, and I welcome you to this profession. And if there's anything that I or Sylvia can do, please do not hesitate to call us. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Larry. Let me move next to the El Paso Bar Association and its president, Janet Monteros. Sorry.
That's fine. Thank you very much, Justice Sally. I just want to welcome each and every one of you. It's so exciting, and I'm so excited, number one, that you all have a job. I mean, that is fabulous. And you're entering a profession where personal relationships are so important. And even though social media can and does play a big part of your life, both as an attorney as well as in your personal thing, social relationships are still very important, but it's not enough. You have to know your client, your colleagues personally. And a good way to do that is becoming involved in the El Paso Bar Association. And that way you'll learn from each other, and perhaps you'll run into someone who will mentor you. And for those of, it's the El Paso Bar Association is a great way to start beginning to build relationships with your colleagues and even clients. And you can benefit from the expertise that's provided. And the principles on which, this type of collegiality is based, it's time tested by all of us. And it still remains with a core principle within the core principles of our profession, which is truth, honesty, integrity, and fair dealing to your clients and to the court and to yourself. And that's essential to being a lawyer. And as a lawyer, you must exemplify the highest standards in the legal profession: moral courage, principled devotion to the law, and equal justice. And this is a very small community, legal community you're coming into. There are less than, I think now with you all, it's going to be a little bit more, but the last time the stats presented, we were at 1,292 lawyers, which is very small. In fact, some of you probably graduated from high schools with a larger graduating class. So what this does, it benefits you in that you will have an opportunity to get to know many of your colleagues. And this is so important and it's crucial. And hopefully you will decide to join the El Paso Bar Association and help us. We have a lot of pro bono projects you can get involved in. We have veterans clinics, wills clinics, and other projects as they come along. And we would really, really love to welcome you into the El Paso Bar Association. Thank you. Thank you, Justice Sally.
Thank you, Janet. And next on my list, I have the Women's Bar Association, represented by its president, Adriana Leal.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Adriana Leal. Good morning, Justice Ali. Good morning, everyone. I would just like to talk about our purpose just a little bit. The El Paso Women's Bar Association was created in the early 1970s, 1971, more or less. And our mission at the Women's Bar Association is to advance the professional interest of women licensed to practice law, advance the cause of justice and the cause of women, and nurture and improve the relations among women attorneys, the judiciary, the entire legal profession, and the community. That's our purpose. So I have been a member of the Women's Bar Association since I became licensed in 2016. I'm a fairly new attorney. I have really found it helpful to me in getting to know other women attorneys in the El Paso community and just networking in general. I'm sure you all have heard the word networking ad nauseum. So I just want to let you know that it is helpful to you as a young attorney to know your legal community. As Ms. Monteros mentioned, bar associations are probably the best way for you to start to do that. And we have the Women's Bar Association is mainly a public service branch of the local bar association. So we focus on charitable projects for our community. For example, we have just started a mentorship program for young women who are in high school and college who are interested in attending law school, to get them to network with and to get to know women in the legal community. And not only that, we've had many charitable projects in the past, and I will share our link to the Women's Bar Facebook page and our website, so that you all, if you're interested, can contact me or any of our board members and join the El Paso Women's Bar Association. We would love to have you.
Thank you, Adriana. Next on my list, I have the El Paso Young Lawyers Association, and Daisy Chaparro, its president.
Good morning, Your Honor, and good morning to everybody. I want to welcome all the new attorneys. We're so happy to have you in our legal community. Like all of you, I went to school out of town and I came right back to serve my community. And I think that what you should know is that you're in such a fantastic legal community in terms of the opportunities that you will have. And so there's times when you feel like you're a little alienated from your friends who are in bigger cities perhaps and are far away. But rest assured that there are plenty of opportunities here. And in fact, you are in a great place for career growth. Our community is great. I have found a lot of mentorship among other members of the El Paso Bar Association. Through the El Paso Young Lawyers Association, I've been able to make connections with lawyers that I would not have otherwise come across because they practice in different fields. And so I would really encourage you to get involved in the El Paso Young Lawyers Association. There's a lot of fun stuff that we do. We obviously haven't been able to do it throughout the year, but there's also a lot of rewarding work that we do. For example, this year we're doing we're having our 15th annual Christmas of Hope, where we raise funds for ill children at the El Paso Children's Hospital so that they can have a great Christmas holiday that they wouldn't otherwise have. And so I encourage you to get involved in your community. Being an attorney is the most rewarding part. But there's also a lot of reward for you to gain from just helping your community and getting out there. So if there's anything I can ever do for any of you all, please reach out and please join the El Paso Young Lawyers Association. I am the past president. The current president is Andrew Cavazos, who could not be here, but we would be more than happy to welcome you into our legal community. So congratulations to you all.
Thank you, Daisy. And next we have the Mexican American Bar Association, and I understand Aldo Lopez will make that presentation.
Thank you, Justice Sally. Guys, congratulations. As obviously everybody said, El Paso is a great place to practice just because of the fact that we're so small and everybody knows each other. One of the things that I was advised when I was sworn in, which I think is great, especially for here in El Paso, is to make sure you keep your word to other attorneys. Given it's such a small legal community, you're going to see the same attorneys over and over. And for the most part here in El Paso, we still practice where you tell an attorney something and you can rely on that. So that's a big thing, because once an attorney loses your trust in you, that's going to get around, and you don't want to have that follow you around, because it'll affect every piece of your practice. We all have stuff that comes up and you need a favor from somebody, and if attorneys like you and they can trust you, more often than not, you're going to get that help you need, because we all understand there's just times when we do need some help from the other counsel. So that's probably my biggest piece of advice for y'all. I'm here speaking on behalf of the Mexican American Bar Association. Traditionally, it's to promote the advancement of Latinos in the legal profession, and also to provide service and advocacy for the Latino communities. Here in El Paso, it's traditionally one of the largest bar organizations, and so hopefully with NORA we can get it active again. And again, like anybody said, and I think any lawyer you talk to here in El Paso, if you reach out to any of us, we're going to be more than happy to help you with whatever issue you may have, be it professionally or just some advice. And you'll find that the El Paso legal community is great and very friendly with each other. And then just personally for me, if you can get involved in as many bar associations as you can, just starting out, you'll find the group that you enjoy being with and the type of work you help out with, because all of the bar associations do tend to support the El Paso community. And so you'll find your niche, and you'll grow from there. I started out with the El Paso Young Lawyers Association, went to the El Paso Bar Association, and then up to the state bar. And that's how I met our current president, Larry, when I was serving with the state bar. And, he's practicing out in Fort Bend outside of Houston, and we're on the complete opposite end of the state. And, you get to know attorneys from all over the state, which is just great. Networking wise, just for personal relationships, but also professional. So just again, congratulations and good luck.
Awesome. Thank you, Aldo. Next on my list, I had the board of directors for the state bar, and we have one of those, Steve Fisher.
Hi. Usually I have my dog, so I'll probably be a lot more boring today. As Sylvia pointed out to me correctly, I am not a spokesperson for the bar. I'm your representative. And sometimes I agree with the state bar, and sometimes I disagree with the state bar. So I'm there for you to talk to. You all have jobs. If you didn't, I have an office that is available free to any attorney to use. And my son also recently graduated from law school. Being sworn. He took 3 different bars. Desiree, he went to UT Law, UE Ray Fisher, and I think he's being sworn into Louisiana or Vermont today. There's specific things that I would like you to look at. Your first year as a lawyer, you get free the online library. And that is great. That's one of the best things the bar has. It has all the articles on every area of law. They're free. Download them, because next year it's going to cost you, I think, $4.95 or so. So please take advantage of that. The next is these Facebook groups for lawyers. I started them about 10 years ago. There's a group, El Paso Lawyers, and there's about 225 of us that are actually active in there. So sometimes there's job announcements. Sometimes we're talking about there's been some deaths among attorneys. So that's a great group. And then a lot of the women's bar, a lot of these other bars have their own sort of informational page. Ours is more for discussion. You also, and I was also an elected director from Corpus a while back, and we have a program for a free CLE. You get one a year. And I did that with El Paso in mind, because we have to pay travel. Hey, they said no dogs. We have to pay travel expenses, miss time out. So you can file for the scholarship. They do not ask you about need. You could say I want 60% off and go to any state bar. Stop it. Any state bar. That's not Rusticus. Rusticus doesn't do that. Okay. And then, so if you ever need help, I give CLEs around the state on grievance reform and the State Commission for Judicial Conduct. So please, and a minute about the State Commission for Judicial Conduct. I was on there for a year. I'm just finished. If you ever have problems with a judge, or if a judge has a problem with a complaint, please come and see me. The one thing our commission agrees on is that lawyers who represent judges before the commission have no idea what they're doing and usually hurt their case. So it's an area of law where we need people, but very few people step up. I can tell you that it was probably the most miserable experience of my life. I wasn't good at it. To be in this kind of practice and to see judges crying and begging for not to be sanctioned, and the reaction of the commissioners, and I was often clueless who's telling the truth. It was really agonizing, but if I can help you there also, let me know. Otherwise, these are great groups. The ones that have the best parties go to Aldo and the Texas Young Lawyers. So please remember that and contact me, join some of those Facebook groups. And I like helping lawyers a lot more than I like practicing law. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. And then last but not least is the El Paso Queer Bar Association and Cynthia Lopez, its president.
Hi guys, thank you, Justice Ali. Hi, my name is Cynthia Lopez. I am one of the founding members and the current president of the El Paso Queer Bar Association, which of course is the LGBTQ bar association. First of all, you don't have to associate to be part of our organization. We have a lot of allies that are on the board and a lot of people that just help with the community. One of our big things, of course, just like the other bar associations, is advocacy for the community, creating resources for attorneys who may just be interested in kind of helping the community, such as CLEs. A big portion of us are immigration attorneys, so some of the stuff that we've done in the past are things like naturalization fairs, where we help people become citizens. We do want to, we've been around for 4 years now, but I do still kind of consider us a baby bar association because we're still kind of getting our act together. But we do want to do a lot more things for the community, such as the naturalization fairs, but that are geared more towards the LGBT community. And I would just echo what some of the other bar leaders have said on here, that it's really important to know your colleagues. I'm sure you've already learned and realized quickly that one of the first questions your family and friends are going to ask you is, I need help with this, and do you know an attorney that does this? And it ranges from criminal to immigration and everything under the sun, and people think you can do everything, but it's important to know the experts in those fields to recommend them to, and people that you trust. So like all the other leaders on here, I encourage you to be active in the community. Like Aldo said, get to know the different organizations and which one fits your goals and your career goals more so. So if you need to reach out to any of us, you can reach out to me or any of the board members. You're always welcome as well to join us on meetings. Now that they're on Zoom, it's much easier to jump on and just kind of see what we're about. So thank you for your time and congratulations.
Thank you, Cynthia. So now we're almost there, but first you have to suffer through some comments from the court. And so I'll turn the floor over to Justice Rodriguez.
Likewise, I echo what everybody else said. Although kind of stole my thunder. That's my routine. That's my go-to, and that is your word is your bond. Your reputation. I mean, they tell you this from middle school and high school, and now here you are being sworn as a lawyer. But I just because we are a very small community. Let me just tell you, it's a little bit like high school. So everybody knows you by your reputation. And you want to establish the best reputation and then uphold that. And that's something you do in the practice of law on a daily basis. And so it is very crucial, as Aldo pointed out, that other lawyers can rely on you, and that if you say that's the way it's going to be, that's the way it's going to be. And I've done that. I can tell you that some days it's hurt. But for the most part, it was very, very important to me. It was an important value to me that people trust me. Because if other lawyers lose confidence in you and don't trust you, it just makes your practice so much more difficult. I mean, if you can say that's the way it is, then you're good to go. But if people don't trust you, just think about it. Everything has got to be in writing and backed up, etc. And I think there's a corollary to that, and that is, and obviously I'm reiterating all of the things that they told you in law school, but be truthful. And I won't say truthful. I mean, obviously, I hope and pray that you would always be truthful with the court, but more importantly, you know, when you're presenting an argument, I mean, you need to acknowledge those cases, that part of the law that doesn't always align with your argument, but be able to explain it. Obviously, I mean, that's your job as an advocate. But if judges trust you, then they're more likely to understand. And I think because a lot of times, especially in a trial bench, I mean, judges don't have Westlaw, you know, wired into their brain. They've got to just make calls, and then they've got to move on. And so if they're dealing with a lawyer who they have a lot of confidence in, that's going to ultimately help your client. And so I just think it's, you know, I'm always impressed when a lawyer comes up and says, Judge, here are the cases that we believe we can rely on that are going to support our argument. There is a case out there that says opposite. You know, when somebody's that forthright, I have a lot of trust and respect for them. And that trust and respect will help you and your clients ultimately. You know, not every day, but on the long run. So I'm just going to echo what Aldo said, is that your reputation is part, I think, of what your clients pay you for. And then that translates into trust and respect, not only among your colleagues, but with the judges that you're going to practice in front of, regardless of whether it's a justice of the peace or at the Texas Supreme Court level or over across the street in federal court. So I'm just going to tell you, and because we're so small, and because sometimes it's a little bit like a high school and you have your reputation, I will tell you, word carries fast, a little bit like on the wind. And so just remember that, you know, just remember that may not be something that goes unnoticed. And so you want to be able to always, you know, try to be the most obviously you want to be the most ethical lawyer that you can be, but always try to be forthright. And again, your word is your bond. Even with, and I will just tell you this, even with the court coordinators, the bailiffs, with everybody, the clerks that you have to deal with, everybody's going to be making a comment about their interaction with you and how you treat people. And so all of those things I think are just invaluable as parts of that building block of your reputation. And again, congratulations, not only to you, but also to your families. I mean, none of us get here by ourselves, none of us. And I know that my dad was an integral part of me being a lawyer. And just by virtue of the fact that I would call him every night and vent about all the horrible law professors and how mean they were to me and how bad the finals were. And you know, it's an emotional roller coaster, that and taking the state bar. But here you are at the end of the road. I'm so very proud of you. I'm so glad that you decided to come back home and practice with the rest of us. And so congratulations to you and your families. Thank you.
Thank you, Justice. So I'll just kind of round out things here and certainly echo everything that was said, but I wanted to pick up on one theme that several people have mentioned. Once you become lawyers and join the state bar, you will get the Bar Journal every month, I think, and it's got some great features in it. It's got articles on changes in the law, and I think Judge Jerry Buckmeyer, and maybe now it's his daughter, has carried on kind of a humorous part at the end, but there's a part right in the middle that deals with grievances against lawyers. And maybe it's like there a car wreck, you can't kind of keep your eyes off of that. That's one of the things that I always kind of look at. And so sometimes it has names, sometimes not, but it always kind of has where the person practices and what their age is. And I've kind of noticed that there's a big grouping of people who are kind of more my age in the 50s and 60s. And I have a theory about that, but there are always a few young lawyers who get into trouble with the state bar. And one of my theories is that those people probably went out to practice on their own, and they never really had a mentor that they could relate to and learn from the practice of law. I was very fortunate. I started at the Scott Hulse firm, like two of you, and Kemp Smith would be the same. There are some absolutely great lawyers there. And when I came in, there were, some really giants in this community. Jim Hulse, Skylar Marshall, Bill Thurman, Ricky Fuel, Richard Munzinger is still practicing, but guys like Charlie Jones and Jim Gallagher. And so I would really encourage you to kind of try and latch on to a mentor that you can relate to, and spend the time to learn from them. Learn about their ethics, learn about how they practice law, learn about how they interact with clients. And it's so important to have that person there that you can go and walk in and ask a question when a client asks you to do something that you're not quite sure of, or you face a lawyer who is doing something that you're not quite sure of. It's just so important to have that resource of a mentor. And I think you'll find, as I did, that any of the senior lawyers, I certainly know them in both of the firms, are more than willing to take on that role. So with all of that talk, are y'all ready now to become lawyers in the state of Texas? I'm seeing yeses. So if the four candidates could maybe unmute yourself, and I will administer the oath. You could all raise your right hands. Great. I state your name.
I, Alessandra Martinez,
I do solemnly swear
swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of this state,
That I
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of this state.
that I will honestly demean myself in the practice of law,
That I will honestly demean myself in the practice of law.
and will discharge my duties to my clients
And will discharge my duties to my clients
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
and that I will conduct myself with integrity and civility
And that I will conduct myself with integrity and civility
in dealing and communicating with the courts and all parties.
in communicating and dealing with the courts and all parties.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, you are now lawyers in the state of Texas.
Congrats, everyone. Thank you so much.
So normally we would have a reception at the court and be able to chat and talk. I miss those days. Hopefully they're coming back soon. But obviously anytime, within the bounds of ethics, if you want to come, talk to members of the court, we'd love to kind of get to know you, and hopefully we'll be seeing your briefs and work product come across our desk. And so with that, the court is in recess.
Thank you, Judge Alley. Thank you, Judge Rodriguez, Judge Palafox. Thank you. Thank you for everyone.
Thank you.
Larry, you take care of yourself.